A big welcome back to my channel. My name's Sarah and I'm so glad that you're here. Today we are going to be showing you several different fun supper ideas for your week. So sit back and enjoy. We've got a meatloaf, taco boats, butternut squash pizza with goat cheese on it, and also a stroganoff type dish with a vegetarian chicken option. So enjoy and let me know in the comments below if you try any of these recipes. Thanks, and let's get into the video. For tonight's meal, I've just peeled up some potatoes, stuck them in the Instant Pot, and I'm going to cook them up so that we can have mashed potatoes, and we're going to have that with meatloaf. Set it to seal, plug it in, set it to manual, and we'll set it for 20 minutes since they are whole potatoes. Alrighty, we're going to get right on into making our meatloaf for tonight's supper. So I'm just going to start by drizzling some olive oil into a pan. And then we're going to chop up some onion to saute along with our veggie burger until it's nice and browned. Ooh, I love me a good sizzle. Just listen to that pan. So I can add the recipe for this down in the description box below, but basically you're just going to add in a can of diced tomatoes and mix that into your meat mixture as well. A couple of eggs help it to hold together, and then breadcrumbs, some salt and pepper. And also, I really like to saute green peppers in this recipe. It really adds a nice touch, but I didn't have those to add to this tonight. I'm also adding in a handful of oats. Pretty much, you could use cracker crumbs, the breadcrumbs, oats, some sort of a binder. And as I said before, I'll have the recipe down in the description box for you guys. And as you can see, I'm terribly precise with all my measurements. Are you guys like that when you cook too? Just sort of dump it in, pour it in, however you want to do it. eyeball it. So anyway, I'm just going to grease a pan and pop the meatloaf in there and spread it all down, and then I'm just going to top it with this sauce. So it's just ketchup, brown sugar, and mustard, I believe. Alright, just spread that over the top of your meatloaf and bake it in the oven for about an hour, I believe, at 350. And it will be delicious. Okay, by now the potatoes are done cooking, so I'm just going to use this, it's actually a vegan stick butter by Country Crock. I'm just going to pop a stick of that in there, and, oh, camera's fogging up on me. Pop a stick of that in there and use some salt and pepper and just mash them up. Doesn't that meatloaf look good? And those potatoes are so creamy. I used Yukon Gold for those, and oh, they turn out so good. Serve with a side of green beans and some brown gravy, and you've got yourself a good supper. Alright, moving on to the next night, I decided to do a Fiesta Rice bake. So it's mainly rice with salsa and a bunch of different seasonings and broth, I believe. I'll have the recipe linked for you guys. And I'm going to do it with tacos. I'm also going to make it with this delicious sauce to serve over the top. It's going to be so good. I used a vegan sour cream in there so that those with dairy allergies would be fine. Oh, it was so good on top of the tacos, you guys. You've got to try it. It just totally made them so good. I used these soft tortilla flour bowls that I got at the grocery store and just warmed them up in tin foil in the oven. Oh, the rice is all done and it was delicious. I will definitely be making this recipe again. I love doing rice in the oven because it just seems like it bakes it to perfection. It's always so good. We chopped up some olives and warmed up some chili beans on the stove and added some shredded lettuce and all the different toppings that you might want. I also put some griller crumbles with taco seasoning and browned them up as well. You can really add whatever you want on a taco. Alright, time to dish it up. That yummy Fiesta rice on the bottom. Rice is really good, you guys. And some of the chili beans. Burger crumble with the basically taco meat. Chopped onions, olives, shredded lettuce, and some of that really good sauce on top. Totally made it. I could only eat one of these. I wanted to eat more because it was so good, but yeah, very filling. I'm just going to make mine that much better and add a big old dollop of guacamole on the top, and you can even add like verde salsa or a hot sauce, chipotle sauce. Sky's the limit, guys. So the next night we did homemade pizza, but we made it especially good because it was using home canned pizza sauce with tomatoes from our garden, and of course a homemade pizza crust, which I'll have the recipe again down below for you guys. I love to use my cast iron pizza pan, and I also have a Pampered Chef like stoneware one as well. So anyway, put the sauce down and sprinkled it with some cheese. And then one I did with butternut squash and like a caramelized purple onion and goat cheese. And then another one I just made, you know, plain, because for some reason there's people that just like plain cheese pizza and they don't want it all exciting with butternut squash on it. Oh, and that reminds me, I did cook up the butternut squash in chunks with brown sugar and butter and sage, a little bit of salt and pepper. Oh, you guys, so good, so good. I also sauteed up some cabbage because we had a ton of that from a big order that had come in. I made a ton of sauerkraut, but I thought it would be good alongside the pizza as well. Pizza's always a hit, and tonight was no exception. It was really good, and I had a lot of fun making it a little more gourmet on this night. So on this night I'm making a stroganoff, and I'm using a product called Fri Chick, and you can get it off of Amazon. It's basically just a chicken alternative, and it does have really good flavor. So I'm just chopping it up into pieces, and then I will make a gravy with the broth. So I've got my water going, and I'm going to be putting the egg noodles in there to cook. I've got a pan out to put the whole dish into when it's done, and I'm also going to serve it alongside with a side of sweet potatoes. So anyway, I'll just thicken up that broth from the can with a little bit of flour, make a nice gravy out of it, add a few seasonings as needed, add back in the Fri Chick, and it'll go over the top of the noodles as soon as they're done cooking. One thing that I forgot to do or show on this is that I added in some sour cream once the gravy was all mixed into the noodles. Yeah, it just makes it nice and creamy and just adds a really good flavor. So don't forget the sour cream on this recipe. It just makes it so much better. We all were adding in little dollops later on because I had forgotten to add it to the recipe. So it's just a real quick and easy supper idea. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video and the different supper ideas that it had in it. Supper comes every night, doesn't it? And it's always good to have a plan. I know the more intentional I am in writing down at least an idea of what we're going to have for supper each night, the better off it goes. Otherwise, I'm just left floundering at dinner time with just no idea of what to make. And so if I've written it down, I can have a plan and I can take things out of the freezer if I need to, and it just works that much better. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up. Remember, the recipes are down in the description box below, and I hope you guys have a blessed day. We'll see you next time.